Thank you. Now let me say, if this is the energy we're seeing here today in Alexandria, I'm convinced we're going to put one of these fine gentlemen, either Reed or Mark, into the U.S. Congress and send Michelle Fischbach packing. But I want to talk to you a little bit, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because we need to move forward. But I want to remind all of you as Democrats, as DFLers, that there is more that unites us than divides us. Remember that. I worked for Paul Wellstone, as many of you know. I started on his campaign in 1990. I worked for him in the U.S. Senate. There was no greater friend and mentor of mine in my life than Paul. And one thing he would say, after seeing what we saw today, isn't it good to see young people care about politics? Yes. It's good to see young people care about politics. But let me say what else he would say, is that sometimes you need to take that passion and energy and what you care about, and you need to channel it towards things that are going to make a difference. Because what we saw earlier isn't going to make a difference. Weakening our candidates, weakening our party is not going to make a difference. At the end of the day, it's the DFL party that's fighting on issues of climate and the environment. At the end of the day, it's the DFL party that honors the sovereignty of our tribal nations in this state. At the end of the day, it's the DFL party that's going to lift up the voices of communities of colors throughout this state. And at the end of the day, it's the DFL party that's going to look out for every single person, no matter where you live, no matter where you're from, no matter who you love. That's the DFL party. And when we weaken the DFL party, I had one of those protesters say, well, I would never vote for Tim Walz. I'd rather vote for a Republican. Ooh, really?
Really?
Really? Well, let me tell you what. The Republican Party doesn't care about any of those things I just talked about.
Right.
And so, the ends do not justify the means. The ends do not justify the means. And let me say this, and I'm sorry for getting fiery because I'm worked up this week. On Tuesday when I heard the news about Texas and SD8, I wasn't mad at the Republicans. We knew what the Republicans are going to do. They're going to support their candidates. In 2016, I was the chair then too. I know some of you want to see me leave, that's fine. But let me tell you, I spent countless hours traveling the state and country for Hillary Clinton. And I told young people at the time who said, you know what, I'm not going to support Hillary Clinton. They let perfect be the enemy of good. They sat on their hands, or they voted for a third-party candidate. You know what I told them at the time? I said, this isn't about a candidate. This is about our values. This is about the type of country we want to be. And if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's president, he's going to appoint 3 justices to the Supreme Court. And things I care about and have fought for my entire life are going to be in jeopardy. Right. And sure enough, this week, that prophecy came true. Elections matter. Elections have consequences. These people running all these fine candidates, they're wonderful people, and we're going to support them. But it's not about them. It's about the values they carry into office and the type of community, state, and country we want to live in. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I'm a DFLer. And remember, when you see stuff like this, we will never, ever admonish people who exercise their right to lift up marginalized voices. But we also have to remind them that those types of tactics do not allow us to come together, to build power, to make a difference, and to change lives and communities. That's what we're here for.